Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products, so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
At Brog Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brog Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX New Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
with the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend.
And welcome back to the Inside Drive on this beautiful, fun Friday. Fitting intro music there, Jay, as you are back. It feels like it's been a long time, but it's only been a show and a half that you've been gone.
Yes,
but missing in our hearts, that's for sure. But you have a good time yesterday at the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce tournament out there. I know day 2 is going on as we speak.
Yeah, it was great, man. We had a good time. Shot 61.
Ooh,
yeah, it was good.
Not great.
Yeah,
but okay.
We didn't pencil whip or anything.
That's good. So that's good. You guys shot a little bit better than that what'd you guys shoot last Friday?
Oh,
18. Gosh. 18.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Easy peasy. Yeah. Pencil whipping in that one.
No, that was legit.
Oh, what, 15 under?
Yeah. Yeah, we shot like 50.
Oh, I thought you were saying 18 So I was
No, no, no.
54. I mean, that's respectable.
good.
I know they have a lot of things where you can, purchase scores, so to speak. And that does make me want to. Remember, Joey was out there hitting shots on number one, raising some money, which was awesome. He was out there literally all day, but he ended up making a hole-in-one for a group in the afternoon. It was a group of ladies. He hit from the 4 tees and he knocked it in the jar.
I had heard that.
I was hoping the Bay Point would post on their social media page because Gavin did a great job and got him a flag and a hole-in-one flag and all that. But yeah, and so that kind of got him through the rest of the day. He was getting tired, his back was hurting, but once you make a hole-in-one there on a par 4, I don't care what tees. That's pretty impressive.
That was on one?
Yeah, so they had a 0 on that one because I think it was a $20 donation, and then he'd hit the shot, and you'd be hitting 1 from wherever the shot went.
Right.
So obviously, 0 is the shot, so it went in the jar.
And I've targeted that before I lasered it. It's 240, about 245 from. That's crazy.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. Jay don't need no laser though. We found that out last Friday.
Eagle eyes.
Well, I'm talking about like 97.5. How you know, Jay? Then Ryan Cox comes up. Yeah, it's about 98. Like, golly, all right then, brother.
He's out there enough. He pretty much knows every distance on every hole at this point, no matter where you are.
I grew up without range.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really think about that.
I know.
These kids playing golf nowadays, they all got rangefinders coming up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You had to do the old walk it off the sprinkler head, and you'd hope the sprinkler head was accurate to the center of the green.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky, you played a golf course that had front, middle, back on the sprinkler heads as well.
That's right.
And you just had to guess where the pin is.
Mm-hmm. Then the elevation, it's like, maybe a club and a half or a half club.
But I think that you learn how to play golf better doing that than having the crutch of the rangefinder.
That's right.
It's one of those, and it's obviously it speeds up the game. It's very helpful. I also think it's very harmful to some amateur golfers as well because this is not really a topic for this segment, but I'm going to jump into it because we've said it before, and it's been one of your tips before, if I'm not mistaken. Like you shoot a laser. It's 158 to the flag.
Right.
And you can hit your 8-iron 160 yards.
Yep.
Well, people are going to pull that 8-iron out every time because they see the number. They know what they can hit their 8-iron when they hit it on the center and solid.
Right.
Which, how often do amateur golfers hit it on the center and solid?
0.5%, maybe?
Yeah, probably a little more than that. 0.5% seems low. But yeah, to that point, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to you hit your 8-iron 160 yards, you got a 158-yard shot, pull the 7-iron and just hit it. And if you flush it and it goes over the green, chalk it up to you just hit it great, and that was great. And yeah, if you would have hit the 8, it probably would have been good. But golf is a game of percentages and taking things off and giving yourself the best opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's one I didn't really think about that.
I know.
And I think that's what maybe makes the older generations better at feel when it comes to the game of golf because you're not stuck looking at numbers and thinking about numbers constantly. And we talk about this all the time with analytics on the golf side of things. But we do have a caller on the line, and he loves talking about golf, and I hadn't heard from him in a long time over there in Fort Walton Beach, and that's Woodrow. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Ryan. What's up?
Oh, Jay's back in studio with us, so we're talking a little bit about golf here initially on. Friday's always a fun day for us because we're kind of all over the place, but did you enjoy the Masters?
I did enjoy the Masters. I think Friday was probably the most brutal conditions I've ever seen in my lifetime as a Masters.
I would agree, 100%. And I even thought at some points it got it close to being a little borderline unplayable, but Augusta pushed it through.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of stories, and especially Scheffler, 7 birdies on Sunday. That's pretty impressive, but I have to be honest. I mean, I'm not a Tiger Woods apologist, but I mean, I felt like shooting even par with his health condition in those course conditions on Friday was actually pretty impressive.
I would agree 100%. And I think you saw the effects of how much he put into that Thursday and Friday round on the weekend. Because nothing mattered at that point. I mean, he broke the record. He wanted to make the cut. He did everything he could and then just ran out of gas on the weekend. You could see it. But yeah, to shoot even par in those conditions on Friday, I mean, I think there was only a few under par rounds for the whole tournament or for the whole round on that day. And I think Ludwig Ober was one of the guys that shot 3 under that day, which was equally as impressive. But yeah, those Friday conditions, and like I've watched a lot of Masters, and I had even mentioned that to Keith and said I just think that was one of the most difficult days that I can remember ever happening at Augusta National.
Yeah, I mean, blowing sand out of the bunkers, and just while guys are trying to putt, and it was insane. But I was going to ask you about Sunday, obviously with Scotty and Ludwig and Colin Morikawa, and when they got to 11, right? When they got to 11, Scotty hits his right of the green. Ludwig is in the water and Colin is in the water. Do you think that was just inexperience on their part, or like Colin said, do you feel like maybe he was trying to get greedy and get that Sunday pin on 11?
I think Colin was going for it because he was a little bit further back and needed to make a little more move. I don't think Ludwig needed to hit that shot, and I think that was pure inexperience. I mean, because if you watched him play the rest of that tournament, I mean, he was almost as flawless as Scotty. I mean, hitting every fairway, just hitting great iron shots, and he didn't even putt that well in some of the rounds, and he was still right there. He didn't need the birdie on 11, but I feel like just the inexperience of him, that was literally his first ever major. And if you make a bogey on 11, you don't lose the tournament. But if you make a double, that's a long way to come. And you've seen over the years how many guys have hit it right of 11 on Sunday when they've had the lead or been right there at the lead, just knowing you got to avoid. Because when you make mistakes like that, it's almost as difficult to get up and down for bogey from that drop area as it is to hit the shot from the fairway to make birdie. So I think inexperience on Ludwig's part. Morikawa may mean a little bit. It was trying to push a little bit. Might have done it a little too early.
Yeah, I think I'm going back. I'm going to go back a ways. I'm about to give you some very aged information about me, but 87 Masters, Larry Mize from Augusta, Georgia.
Yep.
Hits right of 11 in the playoff with Greg Norman, or right at there at the final round, and chips in for birdie and beats Norman, and there you go. History. I mean, everybody that knows that hole on Sunday knows you got to be right of that hole.
Yep.
So I didn't think they needed to necessarily push it. I think you're right. Ludwig, his was kind of inexperienced. Morikawa, I think, was trying to make something happen, but Scotty went right, bogeyed the hole, still won by 4.
Exactly. Exactly.
So anyway, but did you enjoy the Masters?
And to me, I think Augusta's more of a shot-shaping, place, right? I mean, 18, think about it. You can't hit a straight shot on 18. I mean, you've got to shape it.
Yep.
And Scotty is a shape shotting kind of guy, right?
Yep.
And I feel like that's one of the advantage he has. I mean, he's kind of Bubba Watson a bit. He can kind of shape
to a degree, but not to the extreme that Bubba. I mean,
Yeah.
Bubba never hit a straight shot in his life.
Right.
It's just not in the cards for him. But I enjoyed the Masters, and we talk about this topic all the time because of the state of golf right now, and the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour, and the ratings declining on the PGA Tour, and all this craziness going on. And the Masters was the tournament that everybody was looking forward to kind of bring that all together. And avid golfers are going to watch the Masters as much as they possibly can. I would say casual golfers, because we have David, or casual golf fans, because we have David here in studio, is a perfect example. He watched the Masters on Sunday to see what was going to happen, especially on the back nine. And I'm sure you watch periodically, but the avid golf fans are going to take in as much Masters as you possibly can. Hell, half of us have two computer screens at work just to be able to watch the Masters on the other screen for 1 week out of the year, or shoot, for 4 days out of the year. But yeah, I love Scotty Scheffler. I've been talking about it all week. He's a man of faith, just a great dude. You can't not love him. But Tiger versus Scotty, Tiger had the fire. Tiger had the step on your throat. Scotty he's a great dude. He's ho-hum. He plays boring golf, but he plays fantastic golf. And I just don't know if this day and age that's going to help the PGA Tour or hurt the PGA Tour. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Scotty Scheffler, because he is obviously an unbelievable golfer, and what he's doing right now is just, some are saying, some of the best stretch of golf since Tiger was in his heyday. But Sunday at Augusta, you love parity. You love to see somebody make a run, and you were just hoping that somebody was going to do it. But like you said, once Ludwig hit that shot on 11, it was kind of like, all right, Scotty's got this thing. And once Scotty hit the green on 12, they're really, you're only making your own mistakes then at that point. So I thought, and you said it too, Jay, it wasn't the most exciting Masters finish. but that's golf. So I enjoyed the Masters. What I was really hoping for a close coming down to the wire finish, just because when you have that at Augusta, it just doesn't get much better than that, because I don't know if there's a more pressure situation. But, what do you think of the whole Scottie Scheffler and what's going on right now?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, because avid golfers, people that really play golf, are going to watch the Masters, and they're going to watch golf because they love golf, period. But to your average person that maybe, plays every once in a while, and, no, Scheffler definitely does not have the, Tiger Woods was, generational, right? I mean, he's hitting 184-yard pitching wedges out of the rough and just insane stuff like that. And so when you have someone making crazy, wild shots like that, that's very upfront, very competitive upfront, in press conferences, I'm here to win, right? I mean, that's the only reason I'm here. I'm not going to play unless I can win. I remember an interview that he did
Curtis Strange.
Early on in his career. Yeah, early on in his career. And the guy was like, yeah, you'll learn, right?
That was the best ever. That didn't age very well in the history of sports. That is for sure.
But, yeah, so there's going to be some excitement. I mean, some people like, there to be a little animosity between some guys, the Brooks Koepkas and Bryson DeChambeau's of the world, and their little feud, and they feel like that fuels ratings. But I don't know that it necessarily does to the average golfer. But, for hardcore guys like us, it's, we're going to watch no matter what. But I can see where viewership, obviously the numbers were down this year, and I think that's why you've got a person that is just like, you hate to say it, but in a sense, he's a little bit boring to watch because he's not like really out there. But the shot that he hit on 9.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a golfer and you've ever been to that course and you see that shot, you're like, that's one of the best shots you'll ever see in golf right there. And you have no idea how hard that is to do with the elevation change. But for the average person that maybe goes out and plays a couple times a year, that really doesn't mean that much to them. But to hardcore guys, I think it does.
Yeah,
so I think just where I am with it.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And, what you were saying, Tiger, when Tiger was in his heyday, technology really hadn't changed a whole lot yet. And he was just doing things, like you said, hitting these shots. Like, how is he hitting his iron that far? How is he hitting his tee shot that far? So not only you had a guy dominating the sport, but you had a guy doing something in the sport consistently that really had never been done. And then technology kind of caught up, made it a little more level across the board. And then the technology, everybody hits it a mile now. Everybody hits their, on the PGA Tour, a 9-iron, 175 yards. So the flashiness that you had in that time of golf really isn't there anymore. Getting back to number 9, go ahead. Just one quick point. Yeah. Number 9 is going to be the hole you see them lengthen between this Masters and the next Masters, in my opinion. Yeah. 9 used to be, and it's a very difficult hole. You know it. You've played it. That green is diabolical, and you just can't miss in certain areas. But all the guys were hitting it from the bottom of that hill. Yep. They used to always have to hit it on that downslope. And one of the hardest shots in golf is hitting from a downslope to an elevated green. Yeah. So don't be surprised if you see number 9 get lengthened next year. You heard it here first. Go ahead,
there you go. Now, I was going to throw in a little, we were talking Scheffler, but man, I honestly feel like this guy may have ankle surgery before he turns age of 30. I mean, is his ankles going to hold up through all of this? We've talked about Tiger with his back and shoulders, all that. You got to watch Scottie's ankles, man, because his ankles are all over the place.
Yeah, no, they're rolling and doing all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I mean, he's one slip up, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he works specifically on the ankle region about flexibility and durability. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, so Woodrow, talking about golf going forward, are you just tuning into the majors? Are you paying attention to other tournaments? Or has your golf viewership changed at all over the last, probably since really the last time we talked?
No, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm because I've loved the sport for that long. I had my uncle introduced me to the game when I was 9 years old, and I had a cousin that had muscular dystrophy and was in a wheelchair. And if you know anything about that particular disease, it kind of ravages the muscles in your body, but your brain is 100%, spot on. But he had an electric wheelchair, so we would go out on the course, and I would strap my clubs on the back of his electric wheelchair, and he would caddy for me, and we would play golf, And so just growing up with that and being introduced to the sport in that way, I'm always going to have a love for it. to watch guys that do it on that level, because I know how hard it is to play golf at that level. Absolutely. So, I'm always impressed by it.
I like it. That's good stuff. Let me ask you one more question. And we talked about this with Keith often when he's on with us every Wednesday at 12. And do you think, and even looking at Harbortown and the scores that these guys are shooting now, I mean, we're not even halfway through the second round, and your leader is at 10 under par on a very difficult golf course. Do you think, and even looking at the Arnold Palmer and TPC and all these tournaments going back so far this year, do you think there maybe is a little bit of easier course setup going on with the PGA Tour right now to encourage some of these better scores, or do you think that's just something I'm looking too deep into?
No, I think you're on, because people need a little bit of excitement. It's like the home run ball in baseball, right? Yeah. I mean, if you take home runs out of baseball, it loses a level of excitement, and unfortunately, that's why you had the steroid era in baseball. Is because the numbers, if you look at the viewership and participation, it was insane. It was off the charts because everybody loves seeing the long ball. So I think that there needs to be some excitement in golf. I don't know if that's purposely being done by the PGA Tour, but I guess we'll find out at the U.S. Open this year, because if somebody's 7 or 8 under par at the Open, that they're setting it up different, because they generally set up that course for the best players in the world to shoot even par. So that's why I would reserve my judgment on that till the Open, and then I think we'll find out there.
Yeah, the USGA loves to make people suffer, that's for sure. And it's going back to Pinehurst number 2 this year. So we were talking about that one on the way in, and that golf course. And obviously, it's been brought back to its original state by Corin Crenshaw, the Donald Ross design. It got away from all the natural areas there for a long time. And they've played one Open on it since they've done it. And now they're coming back. And that's why, as a golf fan, and you were just talking about how difficult golf is, you love to see these guys struggle too. So that's where I was talking to David before the show is, maybe they do need to make it a little bit harder, because maybe they, want to see and struggle. But you got two types of golf fans. You got the avid golfer fan, and then you got the casual fan. I think you're right. The casual golf fan wants to see the higher scoring, the more birdies, the bombs off the tee, where us, the avid golf fans that have been doing this our whole life, they want to see these guys struggle, because we know how difficult it is. Like, it doesn't do anything for me to watch a guy go out and shoot 22 under par at Harbortown Golf Links when I've played Harbortown and know how difficult that golf course is. It's interesting, the state of golf, but it's still golf and it's still fun. And hopefully we'll definitely we should be on the Friday of the PGA Championship coming up next month. So hopefully that'll give you an opportunity to call in and we can dive into the PGA Championship coming up at Valhalla, a great venue up there in Kentucky. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love Valhalla. That's going to be fun. So I'll call in on the Friday of the PGA. We'll get a chance to chat again. Thanks for taking my call. Good to hear all you guys. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. We appreciate you very much. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back on this fun Friday.
America's team plays here.
And a rocket to right field. This thing is into orbit.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Acuna, Ozzie, and Austin Riley lead the Braves' high-powered offense.
Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Brock's Pest Control. Store more portable buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions. Bill Bird Kia and Mid-South Lumber.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 77 with a moderate breeze coming out of the southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of slight fog and partly cloudy skies and a low near 68. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
At Creative Gems, we believe every piece of jewelry tells a story of love, legacy, and the art of fine craftsmanship. Family owned with every detail crafted on site in Panama City, Florida, we invite you to experience more than just shopping. It's a journey to remember. Come visit us online at creativegemsinc.com or in our showroom on Jinx Avenue. Open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Creative Gems.
Ready to save big on the #1 selling car brand in the world? We've extended our best deals of the year throughout the month of April. Get 2.99% APR plus 90 days until you make your first payment on a new Camry. Get 2.99% on the sporty Corolla. Ready for 2.99% on a new RAV4? And get 2.99% on the tough Tundra. Wherever life leads, there's a Toyota for you. Right here at Panama City Toyota.
Offer expires April 30th. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Since I missed it in that first segment, we'll do it in the second one, Jay. You can listen live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, along that beautiful Forgotten Coast. You just got to open that right there on the air, Jay. No big deal. We appreciate it. But you can also watch us and listen on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Head over to ESPNPC.com. You'll see at the top of that page, it says Best of Bay. Nominations go through April 24th, so we appreciate you nominating all three shows here on the ESPN Sports Radio Network here in Northwest Florida. You got the Coach James Hale Show in the morning, Inside Drive here from 11 to 1, and of course our producer behind the glass, DJ David Crockett, host in the afternoon Underdogs every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Bring your good friend in.
Who is it?
Look at the whiteboard. See how this works?
Oh, it's Cliff.
Yeah, bring it in.
What's up, Cliff?
Hey, got to call in earlier this week, but we'll blame tax season and the recovery thereof for sharing a couple of late master stories from last week.
No, you just blame Jay. That's what we do here.
Well, we can do that too.
He wasn't here yesterday. He took half the show off on Wednesday, so really today was the only opportunity you had.
That is fair. That is fair. Yeah, no. So hey, you guys mentioned Valhalla. I've been fortunate. I've got friends from college. Go to Louisville once a year, and I've been fortunate enough to play Valhalla twice. And those guys, they're going to make that place look easy, and I promise you it's not.
Yeah.
That is not an easy golf course. It's beautiful, but not easy.
No doubt. Yeah, that's when the PGA is a PGA member. You can I think you can bring the whole kit and caboodle, your family, your friends, all that. That one.
Yeah,
but a little far from here. But yeah, great. Was the last time they played one there the year Rory won in the dark?
It was.
Man,
that's right.
That's been a little while.
I forgot
It's been a while since they played a PGA at Valhalla.
I believe. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, but it's on I think now they've got it on an official rotation where it's going to be played there every however many years.
Gotcha. So that was probably Rory's last major win.
I believe it was. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hard to believe, but yeah, that's the case. But yeah, no, I wanted to share a couple of. I was fortunate enough to be out at the Masters last week, and so I wanted to share with all the listeners that if anybody has the pleasure of going, and as the kids say, if you want to see the guys just go full send on a driver, 8T is a sneaky spot that I feel like you never hear mentioned. And so the only way I know how to describe this one, I'll jump right into one quick story about 8T, and then I got a more fun story about 8T.
Yeah.
So to reach the fairway bunker, I just want to set this up a little bit. To reach that fairway bunker on 8, it's like 267 to reach it, and it's 315, 314 to carry it.
Yep.
And then you've got another, I'm going to say 15 yards, and keep in mind this is up a very steep slope, 15, 20 yards just to reach an upper crosswalk. And then that crosswalk is probably another 10 or 15 yards wide. And I'll be 45 years old here in a couple of weeks. Jay and I have been playing golf since we were, 13, 14 years old. I saw a tee shot last week on 8 that I have never seen in my entire life. Christo Lampret, the 6'8" amateur from Georgia Tech, hit a missile up that hill. He flies the crosswalk, the entire crosswalk on the fly by 10 yards.
So what is that, about a 340 carry, you think, Cliff?
We were trying to do the math.
And it's uphill.
Yeah. It may have been more, but it was all carry up that hill. And then just to to back it up a little bit, so Bryson's in the group, maybe 2 or 3 back, I can't remember at this point. He flew it about 5 yards short of the crosswalk. So that just kind of gives you a little perspective on how far that T-ball went. I've never seen one leave so fast. And you know how the guys have that whistle behind the ball when it leaves. I mean, it was unlike anything, We'll use the Masters lingo. That's a tee shot unlike anything I've ever seen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think Christo is, Michael Shears has played golf with him, and when we were talking about the national championship last year, he was just saying that he's never seen a guy hit it as far as that guy.
But what about Gordon Sargent?
Oh, that's the other one, too. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. It might not have been Lampert, but 6'8", and just creates all, I mean, and you're right, 8's kind of the tee box is kind of doesn't look like it's really a normal teeing ground, because it's kind of just down there in the bottom surrounded by several other things. You never get really big crowds around 8T either, so you can get real close to those guys hitting it. And that whole, and another thing people don't realize about 8, I mean, when you're going for that green in 2, it is way back there left around the corner. Like, you're hitting a blind tee shot, you got to curve that thing around if you're not on the right side of the fairway. Right. And we were talking over the weekend in our group text, I was like, more birdies happened by people laying up than trying to go for it in 2, just because of how difficult that complex is.
I believe it. If you're not, you're having to play over trees on the left side, because you're right, that green is like the tree line. It's left of the tree line, so it's a very well designed hole, like all of them are out there.
Absolutely.
But if anybody ever gets a chance to go, 8 is a good sneaky spot. Get behind the tee, looking straight up the hole, and you will not regret it. That's a cool spot.
No doubt.
So here we go. I got to jump into a fun story, because I know you guys touched on Jason Day's pants earlier this week.
And his sweater,
Yeah. All right, so let's set the stage on this one. We all know the cups of Augusta. You got the clear cups, and then you got the green cups. The green cups
domestic
are
versus,
or crow's nest. So I'm standing beside a guy behind 18, and we're waiting, and Tiger's group's coming up. So Tiger is playing with Jason Day. They get on the tee box, and I'm standing next to a gentleman that he's got a well-respected stack of green cups. Let's say that. And this guy, Tiger gets on the tee, and if you've never been around Tiger, he's one of those guys where just the attention and the energy and everything just gravitates to him. You have to be in that audience to experience it. It's crazy. So while we're standing there, it's all quiet. Everybody's staring at Tiger. And this guy out of nowhere goes, I want everybody to know that the greatest golfer in the history of the game of golf is standing on the corner of this tee box, and I can't stop staring at Jason Day's pants.
That's brilliant. I mean, they were ridiculous.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And I don't understand it, but and that's one of those things. You can't bring your phone in during tournament or at any time at all. And
were they pleated pants, Cliff?
I don't know if they're pleated.
I don't think they get that baggy without having pleats in them.
Yeah, but I can't remember if it was the left leg or the right leg. It has like a cargo pants pocket, and even the guy even mentioned that. He's like, "Are those cargo pants?"
I can't believe they didn't make him take those off. They had cargo pockets on them.
Yeah, right. But God, you just had to be there to hear it. So he's like, I can't stop staring at Jason Day's pants.
That's amazing.
And the guy behind him's like, well, I disagree with you on that first part, because he wanted to argue that Tiger is not the greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely make that argument.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great thing. So, fun couple of stories from AT.
Yeah, definitely. Which day were you up there, Cliff?
Well, fortunately, I'm kind of lucky, and I was there all week.
Nice, nice.
I went to the Women's Am, and then was out there for the entire tournament. And you guys touched on it last segment. Yes, you are correct. Friday's wins. I've been fortunate. Jay and I were out there on the final round of O together. I've never seen anything like Friday. The wind was howling. I mean, we were afraid the trees were going to come down again.
Like last year. Yeah. Over there on 17 during the practice round. Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we didn't get any straight line winds, but it was extremely gusty. And you could kind of hear, I heard one of the Green Jackets just talking about the conditions, how the guys were kind of lining up on Friday on 12, and it said the pin was in the middle, and the guys were kind of lining up right, and the flags, of course, on 11 and 12 were blowing two different directions.
Yep, swirling back there.
So a lot of the balls were winding up short left, which is not a bad spot to miss it on that flag, from that flag position. But it was a brutal day. It was interesting to watch the guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult enough, but then when you throw that in there, and, we talked about it last week, and you just got all these corridors, and then Amen Corner is a corner of the golf course, and you just get wind that goes down there and whips and comes back out the other side, and 12 is difficult enough with a green that runs away from you, the rattan-style green, and, some guys played, I mean, the round that Oberg played on Friday, I think, was probably the round of the tournament, obviously besides Scotty Scheffler on Sunday making 7 birdies and winning the thing, but to shoot that score in your first ever major on arguably some of the most difficult conditions ever played in the Masters tournament, I think that kid's got a bright future in front of him, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. That I told a couple of friends that were there earlier in the week, I said, y'all need to watch this kid. I can say that, we're all old. You need to watch this kid, Oberg. He is going to win multiple majors. And then sure enough, he shows up in his first appearance there, and to me, we were kind of looking at all the scores. Like, to me, if you shot 1 over or better Friday, you passed a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. You could probably go higher than that, but it was brutal.
Well, Cliff, do you think, we were talking in that last segment about Scheffler and how he's downplaying these wins, and he's such a great guy, but do you think that's hurting the PGA Tour in the least bit, or what's your thoughts on Scheffler with his downplaying attitude?
Yeah, I could see it both ways. I don't think he's hurting the tour by any means. He's, like Ryan mentioned it, he's such a good dude, and I love how I think it actually kind of helps. This is maybe getting a little into the weeds with it, but I think he kind of helps the tour with his style. You just don't see guys. You laughed about how he may break his right ankle or whatever in the last segment. His swing is so unique. He's such a good person. I don't know that he hurts the tour. He doesn't have that intimidating factor yet, but gosh, if he keeps winning like he is, he's going to become intimidating, whether he's nice or not.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I did see, speaking of intimidating people, and of course his record didn't back this up, but I did see Greg Norman out there last week. I saw him personally from about 20 or 30 feet away. It was so interesting. He was not hiding his presence at all.
And paid for his ticket to get in, yeah.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he didn't get invited by Augusta. But he's also worth, a ton of money, so paying the extra aftermarket Masters ticket, not that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's probably connected to get Berkman's tickets if he wants it.
I would think so. And that's one thing we haven't even talked about leading up to the Masters or after the Masters is Berkman's place. I mean, you haven't probably been to Augusta since it's been built.
I don't think so.
It was built right about the time that I was leaving that area. I want to say it opened in 13, 14, something like that. But, to have 3 replica greens every year that you can putt on at that position. I think the ticket there is like a $5,000 ticket, but it's all you can eat, high-end food. The South Carolina students from their hospitality program, those are all the ones that come over and run it. And you talk about, I haven't had the opportunity to go there, but I know a lot of people who have. And it's like going into Augusta National and then going into another place that you can't describe what it's like.
Right.
And they just do everything better than everybody else. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
That's spot on. I got lucky enough to go in there, I think 2 years ago on a Wednesday, and it's, just like you described it. It's one of those places that you have to see it to believe it, and it is, it's just as you would expect from Augusta. It's done perfect. It has any perk that you would want. They've got their own apparel. I mean, I think most people know that, but it is an incredible facility. No doubt.
Unbelievable stuff. Yeah, they just keep doing more and more and more every year. And we talked about this as well, but I think Augusta National took this, or the Masters and the Augusta National took the spotlight and has really done so much for the game of the golf this year. I mean, Augusta donates so much money to the surrounding areas as well. They just, I think it was a $50 million endowment for the Patch, the Augusta Municipal Golf Course, to bring that up and give a nice public golf course to the residents up there. there to play. But, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, the drive, chip, and putt, the Masters, they seem to be the leaders in the forefront of getting more people involved in the game of golf for the most exclusive place to be a member of. And it's so special to see what they do.
No, you're right. I mean, you sure can't argue against it. I mean, they are, it is exclusive, and it is kind of what you would, ideally we'd love to have, I think I speak for a lot of Americans, we'd love to have more of a country club type setting that you find in Scotland where you can join a place for a lot more reasonable. But, I heard you guys talk before, the maintenance, there's a lot of factors that go into that, expectations and that kind of thing. But you're right, Augusta, I mean, they're doing anything and everything they can to grow the game, and inviting Annika to be a member. They just kind of keep making the right moves to highlight the game. So we'll see where it goes. They can do whatever they want at the end of the day.
Literally.
Cliff, last week, I know you may not have listened last week, but Ryan did a true false on a Masters deal. And I know your father-in-law was fortunate enough to be an assistant golf pro at Augusta National back in the day. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yep. So let's back up a little bit. There was a hostage situation that happened at Augusta, right?
Yes, correct. Made his way into the golf shop and created a hostage situation. We were talking about. I don't have it up in front of me, so I don't have the full details. But
that's right.
But basically, we were wondering if your father-in-law was there at the time.
He was not there.
Oh,
but.
Sorry.
He was at Shoal Creek here in Birmingham, and he heard it was going on, and those two guys that were co-pros at the time, he knew them very well because those are the two guys he worked with, and he called the golf shop while that was going on. And so he heard the dude that broke into the place, and he got a little angry that a phone call and somebody picked it up, and so he hung up on him.
Man, your father-in-law got hung up on by the guy that was to the hostage situation there at the Augusta National Golf Club.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he did.
That's wild.
That is a good story over some brown water.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That comes out.
I'm sure. Did you hear about the guy that just recently? We talked about it earlier this week. That stole stole over $1 million worth of merchandise. I think it was more than that. I'm getting confused with the car story that we talked about yesterday. Yeah. But over a span of 13 years, he was the warehouse manager for all their merchandise stuff and was moving it down to Tampa and then selling it online. Did you hear about that?
I did. I saw the articles that got passed around. That's insane.
It's just so surprising that one of the most secure, well-run places in the world that something like that can be happening. It just goes to show you, even if you're the best of the best, bad stuff can still happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the security they have and the technology. I don't know how that happens, but it did. Yep. I don't know.
Pretty wild, that's for sure. Well, Cliff, we appreciate you giving us a call as always, and hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel now that the tax season, quote unquote, ended. Everybody that does their extensions, you got to get going again in September, but hopefully you got a little bit of a break for the next little while and can enjoy some golf and maybe give us a call a couple more times.
Yeah, man. Look forward to enjoying the show now and call in again when I have hopefully something worth sharing.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, and we appreciate the Afternoon Delight debrief opportunity as well. You're the brainchild of that, and that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, keep up the good work, guys. I'm going to keep listening, and we'll talk again soon.
I appreciate it, Cliff. Have a great weekend and a great rest of your day.
Yep, you guys too. See ya.
Take care. That's wild that his father-in-law called the golf shop while that was going on, and the guy that was there hung up on him. Small world.
It is.
Small world, that is for sure. All right, we'll go ahead and take a break, and when we get back, we'll dive into some of the stuff I may have lined up today. If not, just keep calling. I don't really care. It's Fun Friday. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
They suck, man. Yeah, you won't hear us cheering for each other and chanting Big Ten when Michigan wins.
Go Big Ten, man. No way. Won to lose, bro. Not all SEC kumbaya crap.
The worst thing for an Ohio fan is to watch Michigan play Notre Dame. Can both lose? Can both teams lose?
Exactly. When Ohio State and Notre Dame play, can they both lose the game?
Yeah.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
He's
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
In the jewelry business, there is no substitute for experience. David Adamson has over 46 years of experience, 32 of those in Lynn Haven. Designing and creating fine jewelry is more than a job for David, it's a joy. If you're looking for a spectacular jewelry design that says you, or perhaps you need your jewelry repaired, look no further than David Adamson Designer Jewelry. All work is done in-house and always to your complete satisfaction. Stop in today at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven. They're on Facebook and at pcjeweler.com.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot. God damn.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive on this fun Friday. Give us a call. 85. Let's just have callers all show.
I know.
It's more fun that way.
It is.
It's more fun. 850-215-6290. Don't forget to head over to our website, espnpc.com. Look at the top. It says Best of Bay. Give us a nomination. Give the Coach James Hale Show a nomination and give the Afternoon Underdogs a nomination. I don't care who it is. Let's get a show from ESPN Northwest Florida to win Best of Bay radio personality, because that would just be awesome. Ooh. 3 great local shows here, Jay.
Yes, sir.
Having a good show? Having a good day? Having a good Friday?
Great show. And
you know what's next Friday?
I know.
Dusty Slay.
Dusty Slay.
I just got, now the pressure is, when do we go? How early do you want to get there?
Yeah.
You don't want to be too early and wait too long.
Right.
But he's very interactive on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good time. That is for sure. You know, there was a lot of stuff going on in the sports world right now. I do want to mention one quick thing, as I did look it up. You mentioned, we were talking about the Augusta National Women's Amateur. We had Lottie Woad on the show a few days after she won. Well, she's not playing in the ACC championship, so she's not in the starting lineup for Florida State. And they're still doing pretty well. I think they don't need to win or do fantastic to make it to a regional. They're one of the top programs in the country. So that's not that big of a thing for them there. But they are currently in 7th place. I think it's the top 8 that make it to match play. Maybe it's only the top 4. I don't know. But she's qualified for the Chevron Championship, which is the first major of the LPGA season there. And yesterday she shot -1, and I just pulled it up to see how she was doing, and she is currently -3, tied for 5th.
Wow.
In the first major of women's professional golf this season. She's ahead of some serious names when it comes to this. So I know she shot a good round yesterday, but she's 2 under par through 10 holes today, getting to -3 for that tournament over there in Eastlake Woodlands out there in Texas. Good golf tournament. And of course, guess who's only 1 stroke back?
Who?
Nelly Korda. And you know what Nelly Korda's trying to do?
What's she trying to do?
She's trying to win 5 straight golf tournaments on the LPGA Tour right now. This is the first of 5 majors. Like I said, she shot 4 under yesterday. She was 2 back of the leader. Now she's 1 under on her round today. Early on, she's only 1 back. And, we talk about Scotty Scheffler being so dominant, but what Nelly Korda is doing right now on the LPGA Tour is even more dominant. Some saying the most dominant golfer in the world as we speak. And, she was always kind of in not the shadow, but Jessica, her sister, was always just be doing better for her. Well, those roles have completely switched now, and she's #1 ranked golfer in the world, and she's won 4 straight LPGA tournaments, only 1 shy of the LPGA Tour record and tying it. And she could do it this week in a major. The last person to win 4 consecutive starts was back in 2008. That was Lorena Ochoa. But an American player has not gone on a run like this in 46 years, when the record 5-win stretch happened in 1978. And there's only 2 players that have done that. Who did it in 1978, Jay? You should know this one.
On the LPGA?
On the LPGA.
Nancy Lopez.
Bingo.
Yes.
5 straight in 1978. Her and Annika Sorenstam are the only players to win 5 straight tournaments. Annika did it twice. That's how dominant she was. But obviously, if Nelly goes on to win this one in the major championship, she could then potentially set the record by herself.
Would that be a triple-double in golf, maybe? 3 + 2 = 5? Triple-double?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue it. Sounds good to me.
Hat trick?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But yes, Nelly Korda obviously very dominant right now on the women's golf circuit. That is for sure.
Nice.
Did want to talk about some local stuff real quick before we get to our afternoon delight debrief coming up here in about 15 minutes or 14 minutes. But I wanted to mention it yesterday, but I never got to it, and I just wanted to give Bree Clark. We've talked about her earlier in the show. Congratulations. A couple yesterday, or today's the 19th, right?
Yes, it is the 19th.
So April 18th, she had 244 strikeouts this season and counting. That has broken the single-season strikeout record for Bay County softball. So some pretty cool stuff there coming out of Bree Clark. She hasn't signed anywhere yet, but if I were to guess, she's going to have some offers coming probably at the end of this season, because I believe she is a junior, if I'm not mistaken. But Arnold baseball survived a difficult game up there in Cottondale. I think, again, that was played at Chipola College. They won that one 2-1, extending their record to 18-2. Cottondale drops to 15-6. Arnold softball got that 20th win yesterday after beating Mosley at home over there at Arnold High School 11-1. Mosley drops to 7-7 on the season. Arnold is now 20-2. Baseball side, Chipley beat North Bay Haven 9-0. Mariana lost to Rutherford over there at Rutherford 3-2. Bluntstown beat Rutherford in varsity softball 15-1. You got some games coming up tonight, some beautiful games, and you got another couple barn burners tonight in South. Great baseball program coming over there from Walton County. Is going to be traveling over to Arnold High School. Again, Arnold trying to stay with just 2 losses before the final week of the regular season coming up next week. You got Bay, Gaston County in softball, Bozeman, North Bay Haven in baseball, Niceville and Mosley in softball, Wakulla traveling to North Bay Haven, who is also 18-2. Wakulla 17-3, so that's a big-time matchup over there off of 390 in North Bay Haven. Rickards traveling to Rutherford to play some varsity baseball, as I already mentioned. South Walton Seahawks coming over to play Arnold tonight, first pitch at 6:30, and then Crestview traveling down over there to Mosley. That's also a 6:30 first pitch there, Jay Henley.
Very cool.
All right. This is one I want to get David involved in as well, because, we're going to have to do some picks, but not yet, because we may have to cut that afternoon delight debrief segment in half. But I originally thought that this team was getting a new stadium built because the renderings looked really cool, but it turns out that wasn't the case. And it is now a nameless $1.2 billion Utah NHL team.
Oh.
Do you know what team that is traveling up there to become Utah's first NHL franchise and the first team officially relocating since 2011? David knows.
I would say Lightning, just because of, I don't know. Yeah.
Got lightning in a bottle there, Jay.
I have no idea.
We have them here.
Okay.
They're a mammal, and they can be dangerous to your small pets.
Really?
And you, depending on what you decide to do against them.
Mammals, huh?
A mammal. In the canine family, these things are getting...
Coyotes.
Yes, sir. First guess. Set them up, knock them down, baby.
Now, his first guess was technically the Lightning.
Yeah, we're not going to count that one. That's not a mammal.
Yeah.
Now, where are the Coyotes currently located? I have no idea.
Well, they used to be the Phoenix Coyotes, and they changed to the Arizona Coyotes.
I was hoping we were going to play a little guessing game there.
Yeah, well, we don't have that much time.
Right.
But yeah, and this is the team we talked about earlier this year, that they were playing in the arena where Arizona State plays hockey, and it holds like 5,500 people, just because they were supposed to. There's a lot going on with the city and funding and all that stuff. And I had heard, and I apparently didn't verify my sources, but I saw renderings for a new arena there in that Scottsdale area. But as of yesterday, they're heading to Salt Lake City. going up there, and the owner of the Utah Jazz, and they've been there in 28 years. And I remember my grandma, before she passed, she lived out in right near close to Glendale. So I'd actually been to where at the time the Phoenix Coyotes had played. Cool spot, just tough for some hockey out there in Arizona. But 28 years out there in Arizona, and the Jazz owner Ryan Smith is buying the team and the rights to move for $1.2 billion. It wasn't a surprise. As I mentioned, the arena-less Coyotes have been playing home games in a 5,000-seat college rink since 2022. The move is happening this year. Utah has 5-ish months to prep. The team is nameless. The owner is crowdsourcing on X. There are no jerseys, no logos, no colors, nothing other than the fact that they did, in fact, buy the team and the rights. So a lot of things got to get figured out. But what they do have that they didn't have down there in Arizona?
Let's see. They got baseball. They got football.
An arena.
An arena to play.
Okay. Yeah.
I like this. This is fun. So, yes, you know who plays in that arena?
Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely.
Back to David.
The Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz.
We're in Utah. Never mind. I thought we were talking about Arizona.
That's literally
a little road trip.
Yeah, that's literally what we've been talking about. But that's okay. That's okay.
I mean, the winter games have been in Salt Lake. I mean, it makes sense that the Coyotes are moving to Salt Lake. That's just.
But what are they going to be? That is the question. And again, they don't even have colors and have names, all that good stuff. So they're kind of having some fun with it, trying to figure it out. And some of the names that have been thrown out there when they asked ChatGPT, I still have yet to use that. I'm just not ready for that. The Salt Lake Blizzard, the Utah Pioneers, the Great Salt Skaters. I think that's too much of a pun for ever to be a professional.
That's the best one yet, though.
I know. And then they got the Salt Lake Stags, being the buck, a stag, and then the Utah Raptors. Which you already got the Toronto Raptors.
ChatGPT is terrible at helping out with names. Get rid of it. Go to Bard.
Yeah.
Get on Google.
Yeah. What would you call them? I want to hear a name.
I don't know. I was thinking, Colorado's already got the Rockies, right?
Correct. And they used to have a hockey team called the Rockies as well. That was the New Jersey Devils before the New Jersey Devils became the New Jersey Devils.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there was a Rockies hockey team before there was a Rockies baseball team in the same city. But it makes sense. You got the Rocky Mountains right there.
Does Salt Lake actually have? Is that Salt Lake? I mean, it never freezes. It never freezes. It's got salt in it.
I don't know. I wouldn't think so because they use salt to frost ice.
Right.
But
yeah,
Salt Lake City.
I don't know what
it's the salt flats though. So it's land. I'm sure there's a lake too, but isn't that why it's Salt Lake City? And again, I'm not trying to step on anybody's geography toes, but that's where the salt flats are, where they do all these land speed records and all that good stuff. I'm sure if I looked at Facebook, Caveman Rick would be correcting me as we speak, but maybe not. I don't know.
I can't come up with a good name. I can't.
Not even anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, let's go with an SEC team. Let's go with a Bulldog.
There you go. That's creative. There's all sorts of Bulldogs running around in Utah.
Salt Lake Tigers. Maybe, I don't know. Is there a tiger in NHL?
I don't think there is a tiger.
There's a predator.
Yeah.
Which is like the saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, yeah.
From prehistoric times. But I don't think there's a tiger.
And you also have the Buffalo Sabres, but those are more off of the
That's the sword. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. It'd be kind of lame, though.
Salt Lake Crimson Tide.
There we go. Man, golly, I was waiting on the perfect name.
Solved.
And I was like, if ChatGPT can't do it, I don't think anyone can do it. And then all of a sudden you came with that. I was like, golly, they'll have a fight song ready and everything, brother. That'll be great.
And they in the beginning of the thing, they'll at the drop of the opening puck, they'll all go Roll Tide.
That's it.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
I'm changing fandom.
Yeah, he's now not a Lightning fan. He's now a Utah Crimson Tide hockey fan.
Yep.
There you go. Hey,
you never know.
We had Richard text in yesterday. We were kind of kicking this can down the road a little bit. Salt Lake City Stingers.
Ooh, that's not bad.
No. Maybe he said Utah Salt Lakes. Salty Lakes or something like that. Not bad. Salt Lake Stingers, though, was one that we had. And then I was, they got the Utah Jazz, which that all started from moving from New Orleans. But maybe like the Salt Lake Saxophones or something like that.
There you go, little pet and play there with I mean, your most recent NHL teams that have, these are both expansion teams, but you have the Las Vegas Golden Knights, So I don't really know where the Golden Knight tie. I mean, it's the Strip, so it's the Golden City and all that stuff. And then you had the Seattle Kraken, which the Kraken is a mythical sea creature. It's also a rum, too, that's very strong. But that doesn't have anything to do with the hockey team. So, I mean, you really hadn't had a direct correlation, but those are both expansion teams. This is a team that's moving from two.
Right.
So, you've seen some of those teams. You had the Hartford Whalers went to the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a lot of Hurricanes in North Carolina. But, it's a good name for a hockey team. I need you to sleep on this and come back with something better than the Utah Crimson Tide.
But we've talked about this, though. In it, hockey wasn't originated, you would think. So where was hockey originated? Does anybody know?
The sport or the NHL?
Just the sport in general, because we know
Canada.
Scott.
I was about to say, give him one guess on this one, right? Like,
I assumed he was going to get that one right.
Our northern neighbors.
Yes, and you know what made Russia? This is completely random. So good in hockey when they were starting to come up and be that dominant force in the 70s.
Communism.
Well, that too. They were just told what to do. But they learned how to play a different style of hockey, much like where you saw success in basketball and stuff like that. Their hockey was much more choreographed and much more like the NHL is played today than the original form of Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
But that's from watching I watched a documentary on the Russian side of the 1980 Olympics, and you'd think they were all robots and horrible people, but it was actually they were having a lot of fun. And
you get one stick, one puck, and like it.
Well, and they never had played hockey in Russia before, so they all had to learn how to play hockey, and then they had to learn how to create a new style of hockey to be so dominant, and that's why that time they were able to be so good, and then the NHL kind of caught up to that style of hockey. But it's a great documentary. Obviously the United States one is fantastic, but it was interesting to kind of see the Russian side of things when it came to that. But yeah, all right. You need to think and get back to us on a better name.
You can't even sleep on it. It's got to be before the end of the show.
Yeah, because you'll forget. You'll forget. But we got.
Oh, here comes another one. Salt Lake City Aggies.
There you go. There you go. The Tigers, Bears, maybe the Bears.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. No Bruins, just Bears.
There's got to be Bears in Salt Lake.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
In Utah, yes.
Right.
All right, we got a tip. We've got 2.5 minutes to figure out a name for this hockey team. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be back with our Afternoon Delight debrief.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
The Coach James Hill Show, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9. We try to cover Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, all the SEC teams, and, of course, Florida State. We also look into what's going on locally every single day right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're asking you to do us a favor. If you wouldn't mind, would you go and vote for us the Best of Bay? We'd like to be nominated for that. Don't forget the Coach James Hill Show right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 77 with a moderate breeze coming out of the southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of slight fog and partly cloudy skies and a low near 68. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, Your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Go download a free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Inside.drive on TikTok. And last but not least, you can go to ESPNPC.com. You can click listen live. You can enter our contest. You can vote for us for Best of Bay, or not vote. You can nominate us for Best of Bay. Hopefully, we'll get a couple nominations in there, and then we'll be telling you to vote once that nomination period is over. We hung out with Chris Kramer all day yesterday, talking about all things down there at the mecca of boat and car dealerships right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. They've got a Yamaha Master Certified Mechanic on staff, 26 years of experience. They're a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer. All their new and used inventory there at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. It is boating season. If you want to get out on the water, back on the water, if you don't want to be on the water, they can take care of everything you possibly need, and they sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and Skeeter boats right there at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. One of the things Chris mentioned yesterday, too, is the wonderful service department they have. Not only do they have a service department, they have an express service department, and they do all tires at cost. So all things that you could need with your vehicle, with your boat, with a trailer, whatever it is, right there at the mecca of car and boat dealerships in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. All right, Jay, afternoon delight debrief. We may have to cut a little bit short today because we have ran on some things we got to get before the NHL playoffs start tomorrow. Our bracket pick'ems in, and then we got to do our pick'em, of course, for this week coming up.
I'll make it short, sweet, and southern.
Like the tea?
Yep. That's it.
Except if you get the big boy from Mickey D's.
That's better be tall. Yes, sir. If we drink a sweet tea, better be tall. I'm talking.
No short sweet teas.
24 ounces or better.
There you go.
What a great opportunity, though, for the MLB to really kind of do something kind of above the belt, right? This guy, ex-Brave player Gary Cooper, petitioning for just one more day. He was back in the majors to qualify for pension. So basically what he did was he played 42 games with the Braves. 43 would allow him some pension. And after reading this, we're looking at probably about $6,000 per quarter. But once you kind of read into this and find out that Gary Cooper is homeless right now, so let me kind of dive into this right quick, and then we'll get to it. Gary Cooper's experience in the Major League was 42 days in 1980. He played only 21 games for the Atlanta Braves and recorded just 2 plate appearances. Most of the time in the show was spent as a pinch runner or an outfielder. Cooper was sent back down to Savannah Braves of the Southern League after his 42nd day in the majors. He would never spend another day in the big leagues. A year later, after one season with the Durham Bulls in the Carolina League, Cooper retired at the age of 24 years old. What Cooper didn't know at the time was that he had spent one more day on the Atlanta Braves roster, a 43rd day in the majors. He would have qualified for a pension for Major League Baseball. Cooper was denied an exemption in 2017, and he later appealed twice to Committee of Representatives from the MLB. But according to CNN Sports, both were rejected under the 43-day rule. Now, in an online petition started by a man who employed Cooper at a landscaping company he owns, is hoping to help the former ball player get his pension. Robert Jonas' goal is to have the Braves sign Cooper to a one-day contract to be on their coaching staff. As of Friday, there are nearly 8,000 signatures. The current pension system allows players to receive a payment for every quarter, 43 days of service, time in the majors. One quarter in 2021 was valued at $5,750. So Gary Cooper now lives in Savannah, Georgia. He is 67 years old. He is homeless. And, it just sounds like 67. He is a distinguished senior citizen. Mr. Cooper was inducted into the Greater Savannah Athletic Hall of Fame. Prior to the ceremony, he granted a rare interview to Detroit-based journalist Dave Messery. Still, Mr. Cooper has no car. He has no home to call his own, no savings, no pension, and struggles just to pay his phone bill every month. To help support himself, Mr. Cooper works a part-time job as a landscaper, but lately work has been scarce.
I mean, so he can do it as a coach.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. So
that would be one hell of a story if the Braves signed him to a one-day coaching contract.
Right?
I mean, just a feel-good thing.
Yeah. Or, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like, just cover the line in the sand and just, help this guy out, right?
Yeah. David has a good point back there.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Nah.
Nope. Come on.
No,
Come on,
I'm making a joke back here. I said he needs to work full time. But I'm joking. I would love to see the Atlanta Braves pull together here. We're talking one day.
Yeah.
One game.
You don't even have to pay him.
Right.
You just sign him to a one-day contract. It counts as, so I guess it's 43 days of being in the majors, or 43 games.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Put him in as a bat boy.
There you go. Yeah.
Right?
Hey, we talked about
That might
bat
take
boys.
a little while.
Yeah.
You said he's 67 years old. That might take a little while. I think that you could just
sit him down on left field.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a ball boy.
Oh, a ball boy. Yeah.
Some of those guys and girls too. They have ball boys and ball girls. They got to get out of the way quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I don't know about that. I think you could just let them be in the dugout.
Yeah.
And help him get his pension, man.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. Hate that he's falling on hard times like that. It's a sad story, man, for sure. We'll see though. I know that they're going to need a lot more than 8,000 signatures though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I would imagine, right, for something like that.
Well, isn't there like an official signature threshold for like the federal government to look at something? Not that this has anything to do with the federal government, but there's typically there's a rule or a law or whatever it may be, or a statute that says if you get into a certain number of people on a petition, then somebody has to look at it seriously.
True.
I do have some breaking news. This is not Afternoon Delight debrief action, but 13 minutes ago it was put out there. This is from Chris Vanini of The Athletic. And the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel on Friday officially approved the use of helmet communication and sideline tablets for the football bowl subdivision, as well as a 2-minute warning.
This is NFL?
The NCAA Playing Rules Society, there's already helmet communication tablets and 2-minute warnings in the NFL.
Okay.
But you got to watch the NFL to know that. So
yeah.
But yeah, the changes were proposed by the NCAA's Football Rules Committee on March 1st and were expected to be approved. Friday's decisions were the final rubber stamps after coming to a successful trial run by several teams using the technology in the bowl season. Teams will be allowed to have one player on the field with the helmet communication technology. Obviously, probably the quarterback on offense and your mic on defense, somebody like that on defense, which will likely be signified by a green dot on the helmet like the NFL, which was they first used helmet technology back in 1994. According to the policy recommendation obtained by the Athletic, teams can bring up to 10 coach-to-player devices to the game, and the teams must submit a list of device-eligible players to the conference office no later than the pregame meeting. It goes on and on to talk about the helmet technology and those things, but interesting stuff there.
The signing, the steel signing or whatever, do you think that kind of like propped this into more, you know what I'm saying?
I could see that being a factor for sure. But I think it's just modernizing. And to be honest, I don't really understand why, like, at the highest level of the sport you can do one thing, but at a lower level you can't. You would think it would be the opposite, but I think it's two. It'll speed up the game a little bit, and you'll have quicker back to the plays. But I'm all for it. I think it's a good one. All right, we got Lynn Haven Rob on the line. It's Fun Friday, lots of callers. Lynn Haven Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm okay, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Oh,
I'll just say something real quick. They're going to have a lot of people out of work that hold the signs up on the sideline.
Yeah, that's true.
Save a lot of trees. Save a lot of trees and paper.
Yep. Yeah. Those big printouts of people's faces are. That's using a lot of ink. That's for sure.
Hey, no, but to me, the 2-minute warning. Now, how many rules did we pass to make the game quicker to speed it up?
Yep.
No timeouts. Till what? 4 minutes into before halftime and the end of the game.
Yep.
If you run out of bounds, the only time that the clock stops now is an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
But yet, we're going to have, you have so many commercials and everything else. I've said this time and time again. If you want to speed the game up, go to split screen, have all the commercials you want.
Yep. Absolutely.
But now we're going to stop the game, and I guarantee it's going to be 4 to 5 minutes of a break.
Oh, yeah.
For a 2-minute warning to run commercials.
That's exactly right. It's hey, we want to make the game faster. Look at this on the backside. Oh, we're just going to make tons more money selling more commercial times.
It's like I tell everybody. It must be somebody from the DOT that's making these decisions, because we spent almost $500 million getting rid of all the stop red lights and everything on both sides of the Hathaway Bridge.
Yeah.
And as soon as we complete it, we put one at the other end over there to go into the new sports park that we built.
There you go.
Hey, look, and Lynn Haven, Rob, technology's good when it works. I mean, how many times have I gone to a game where the scoreboard's not working? I mean, that's like half the games I've ever been to. Scoreboard's not working.
Sounds like it's a personal problem.
Well, you must be going.
He hadn't been to a game in 20 years, but other than that, that's not the point.
Right. Pepsi's lost all their contracts into the recreational parks because Coca-Cola's taken over the scoreboards at all the recreational parks in Panama City. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah. Yep. I heard that not a little while ago, actually. Yeah. So hopefully they.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be. I think in June they're talking about they'll be all up and in place in June. By then, everything's over with. You know, until next year's football season. But anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with the helmet communications. I got that.
Yeah,
that needed to come. You know,
well, you can do it in high school too, can't you?
No.
Oh, you
can't. They don't do it in high school. No, the quarterback still has to run to the sideline. You know, if you go ask David and he can tell you. He said.
Oh, he's back there shaking his head. Yeah, he's looking at me like I'm an idiot. So, which is okay.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I'm learning just like the rest of us.
As soon as the quarterback hands off or throws the ball, he sprints to the sideline. They quit using a receiver or running back that would bring the play in and call it. Now the quarterback has to run to the sideline and run back to the huddle every play.
Yeah.
So,
but I agree with you. I think it's good for college. But yeah, the 2-minute warning, that's just more money that they can make. That's all that is.
Right. Yeah. That to me is ridiculous. But anyway, all right, guys. Y'all have a great day.
We appreciate you as always, and have a wonderful weekend.
You do the same. Take care. Bye.
All right, Jay, David, let's do this real quick. You had a good afternoon delight debrief there. Well, did you find out how many? I knew you were doing some research.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh yeah.
So to cross the first threshold and be searchable within WhiteHouse.gov, a petition must reach 150 signatures within 30 days. To cross the second threshold and require a response, a petition must reach 100,000 signatures within 30 days.
That's your official government one. Now, this is a little different because they're petitioning the Atlanta Braves. But yeah, 100,000 signatures seems to be the threshold for attention.
I would say it may be somewhere around like 25, 50 in a situation like this. And I hope that someone by now, because I've already seen this story, and kind of been following a little bit. I haven't done a ton of research into it. You gave me a lot of information right there, and I'm thankful for that as well. But yeah, you would like to see stuff like this get done. Here's the other side of the coin, though. How many guys out there are one day off of that?
I was thinking the same thing.
Opens up a huge
box.
Pandora's box. And it's and Major League Baseball is known for manipulating service time to get extra years out of guys or to not have to pay them their pensions and whatnot. So they're very cerebral or stingy, rather, I think would be a better way to put it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if they just started giving out pensions to every single person, you know what I mean, the well would run dry eventually. And I hate the situation for the guy. I really do, and maybe the Braves can make something, or I wouldn't even say make it right, but help the guy out.
Yeah. Outside of the situation, yeah.
And on the flip side of that, though, if he's getting this pension, does the pension come from the Atlanta Braves or does it come from Major League Baseball?
I would think it would come from Major League Baseball.
That's what I'm thinking.
Just like in the NFL, pensions come from the NFL, the Players Association. Same thing with golf. A lot of people don't realize that golfers get a percentage of their earnings for the rest of their lives. That's for sure. All right.
Wait, the golfers get a percentage of so Tiger Woods is going to be getting a percentage of his earnings?
I don't know exactly what the the details of what they get. I want to say it's a percentage of their earnings or something along that, or it may be a flat number. But yeah, golfers do get pensions. I'm going to look that up. And I think there's stipulations. You got to play so long, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to find that out as well. Yeah.
Dude, I'm about to go adopt a kid and have him live with Jay.
Golfwithjay.com? Yeah. Livewithjay.com. But you might get some other requests, not from the Utes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, you want to knock this out real quick? Because we got Aaron Bearden coming up here at 12:20, and that is the NHL playoff bracket. It's officially set after yesterday's games. The Western Conference is set in stone. We'll also pick a lot of these first games, just the first game for our pick'em here in the last segment. But
let me get my research up right quick, Ron.
Because that's
okay.
Yep,
I got it.
What's your research? Google.com with nothing. Told.
That's exactly what he has.
Just the Google homepage. I don't know how I knew that, but it just seemed like it was the right thing to do.
Now he does have his cursor in the search bar.
Ooh, so
there's a list
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All his recent searches.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm like, whoa, what have you been doing, Jay?
None of them are sports related. All right, we'll start on
how to hit a hole in one.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not in golf. All right, Dallas versus Vegas. Vegas got one of the wild card spots. Dallas there on the number one side in that particular division. I'll let you go first, Jay, on this one.
All right, I will go Dallas.
All right. David Hayes, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas in this one as well. Who are they playing again?
The Golden Knights.
Oh, yeah, Vegas. I mean, Vegas won the cup last year, but Dallas has been playing great, and they give up less goals per game. And when you get to this point of the season, man, you got to have great goaltending and great defense.
Absolutely. I'm going to take the Vegas Golden Knights in that one. I just think, why not? Why not? They made it in there. All right, over on the Eastern Conference side of things, you've got the number one seed Florida Panthers there in their division, not the number one seed in the conference, playing the wild card Tampa Bay Lightning. David gets to go first on this one.
I'm struggling with this one. I don't want to pick the Lightning to win the whole thing, but in this particular series, the Lightning have had better success against the Florida Panthers. Now, the Florida Panthers closed out the season strong as well, but so did the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ever since the trade deadline, they played very well and put the exclamation point on the season against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Give me Tampa in 6.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the Lightning in this one as well. I think Florida had their time last year, had a great run. This is a little different scenario. You've seen this where teams play from the underdog comeback role and they do fantastic, and then when that role is switched and all of a sudden they become the favorite, it doesn't necessarily work for them. So I'm going to go with the Lightning in that one. Who you got, Jay?
I got to get risky here. I'm going Florida.
And how is that risky?
Well, just because y'all know your NHL, and that's
according to Vegas odds and statistics, Florida is a favorite in this matchup.
Perfect. Okay, not risky at all.
Yeah,
I'll take Florida.
Okay, ain't getting no biscuit, brother.
No biscuit. All right, next matchup. Back to actually me picking this one. You've got the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs have not won a playoff series since I think 1993. Boston's pissed from last year, losing a 3-game lead in the first round to those Florida Panthers. So I'm going to take the Boston Bruins coming out of that one in the original 6 matchup there. Jay, who do you got?
Let's go with Boston.
That was a great Boston accent.
Let's go Boston.
And you keep saying it. It's like California Boston. Yeah. Interesting. Boston. Talk to Con, man. Have you not talked to Gary before?
I have. Okay. I love it. I just like listening to him talk.
All right, David Hayes, who you got?
I think Boston's going to knock the Maple Leafs out of the first round.
He's a player there on the team, Jay.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say in 7, though.
Ooh, good series. Original 6 matchup. All right, we'll do one more, and then I know we're running out of time. We'll have to jump on the phone with Aaron Beard, and we can finish these up in that last segment with our regular pick'em. But got the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche over there.
Toronto did beat Tampa in the first round last year.
They did.
Yeah, but they have trouble getting out of the second round, kind of like the Sixers.
That's right. I knew there was one of them they haven't got out in forever, and I think that year they won the Stanley Cup as well. All right, Jay, it's back to you. You got the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche.
Hey, let's go with Winnipeg. Hey, yeah.
Good. At least you knew Winnipeg was in Canada. Who you got there, David Hayes?
Yeah, Winnipeg's been playing some really good hockey throughout the year, and they've they definitely have better goaltending than what Colorado does. Now, Colorado's got the best player in this series, and so that could be fortuitous for them, but I'm going to stick with the Jets here.
There you go. 2 Jets and 1 Avs. I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche. Yes, I know he's a great player on that team. You usually run 4 lines in the playoffs. Sometimes you drop down to 3, depending on where that series is at, but I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche in that one as well. We'll pick the other 4 and the rest of the way when we get back in the final segment. But coming up next, again, we've got Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards. He had the big break last night. We're going to find out about how that went, and then also trying to figure out how to ask him some of these myth questions about the sports card collecting and memorabilia world. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
What's up? This is David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, and I would appreciate your nomination in the Best of Bay 2024. I'm running on a platform eliminating boring radio and bringing more exciting sports talk to Bay County. To nominate the Afternoon Underdogs in the category of Best Radio Show in Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and click Best of Bay. This message brought to you by ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Friday. Mostly sunshine the remainder of the day with a moderate breeze at 13 miles per hour out of the southwest, and look for it to be 77. Tonight, there will be a variety of slight fog and partly cloudy skies with the temperature reaching 68. Slightly foggy in the morning, followed by some clouds tomorrow with a high of 77. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steelman Pills. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. That's 800-261-7365.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He has over 10 items in the express lane. He pays with checks and he doesn't return his shopping carts.
You have ruined groceries for me.
Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida. Not sorry.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are joined again by Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards. Jay Henley did not play an intro song in today because he has a few boo-boo fingers.
I do.
So, you know, if you played the guitar more, you'd have better calluses. You wouldn't have boo-boo fingers. A golfer and a guitar player, and you don't have enough callus on the end of your fingers to not get boo-boos?
They need some rest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Basketball?
It is basketball, and I think the dry fingers or something, or I don't know what's going on, but the tips of my fingers and catching that basketball, these kids are throwing these basketballs at me.
David, have you heard of the tips of your fingers having injuries from playing basketball?
No.
Other than getting jammed fingers, which that probably would have been a little more believable to not play the guitar. Yeah. But let's go ahead and bring Aaron Bearden in. Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Hey, I was going to say, that the finger injury, man, that didn't stop Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath. Didn't stop Jerry Garcia. Didn't stop Django Reinhardt.
Literally didn't stop anybody but Jay.
I'm a little soft. I'm sorry.
We know.
I know, man. I'm the same way. I protect my fingers. Fingers get hurt. There's no guitar playing. It's just a whole miserable experience.
Right? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. See, you got some sympathy from one person.
Thank you, Aaron.
But Aaron, you guys had the huge big break for April last night, and I got in on a couple of them, and I wasn't able to watch live. I kind of jumped in and out a little bit, but then saw a lot of the big hits that happened, and talk about how that went. And there were some really, really cool cards that got pulled in that event last night.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice stuff. It was about 6, I think, different products. And not just all cards, because there was a signed helmet in there. There were about 5 boxes of cards, like Illusions, Mosaic, Phoenix, National Treasures, of course, being the really big one. So a lot of cool stuff, a lot of variety, different years. So there were different rookies that people were looking for, and a lot of cool vets and Hall of Famers come out as well. So,
well, and there was a couple cool cards too that I saw that were almost like, I forget what they exactly called them. I forget which box it came out of, but it was almost like a duo card where, like, I know one of them had Peyton Manning and Anthony Richardson, and both had a piece of the jersey on there. And there seemed to be a couple of those. That I thought that was a really cool card.
Yeah, we pulled actually more of those in the box advertised. So there were about 4 of those, maybe 5 of that type of card, or those dual patch cards. And the really nice thing is most of them, there was something interesting. There was a bit of a letter or number on the patch. It wasn't just what a lot of card collectors call a napkin, which is where you get a piece of white jersey.
Yeah.
The thing is, most of your jersey cards are going to be that, because if you look at
the majority of the jersey,
yeah, with just a white, bland piece of fabric is mostly what jerseys are. So.
And I know that there was a Broncos one, I believe, if I remember seeing that one, and I forget who the two were on there, but you could see, I think, a part of the B, or you could see lettering from the jersey, and you were saying when you have that, does that make it a little more valuable? Because, again, it's not just the white napkin there.
Yeah, it just gives it a little bit of personality. You can kind of track down what part of the jersey it came from. Sometimes they'll cut up the patches. Sometimes these guys wear a commemorative of 50 years since we won our first Super Bowl, or that sort of thing. And sometimes they'll cut those up, and you can kind of get that and go, okay, this jersey was from this particular season or this particular game. There's some collegiate ones where these guys get these really elaborate bowl patches to signify when they play in a particular bowl game, and they'll do large patches almost the size of the full card. And you'll get, maybe at least half of that patch, and you can kind of narrow down what game that was from. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, some just and the Illusions pack there too. Just some really cool cards, and that's what's so cool about these big breaks that you do. I mean, if you were to go try to get some of those boxes just by yourself, you're talking about paying 5, 6, 7 times more than just buying in, at what you charge to get a team, and you always throw in extra stuff as well. And I think that's what makes your breaks just a little bit better than everybody else's. And talk about the helmet that was part of the break last night.
Yeah, we had an incentive for people to go ahead and buy their spots early, because the break's going to happen. A lot of times you get breaks online. They're like, well, if we don't sell X amount of spots, certain percentage, we just give the money back. These are going to happen. So we tell people, just go ahead and buy in. You don't have to wait till the last minute. And the more people buy in early, the more stuff we'll start throwing in. So to get them to do that, we threw in a helmet, and we said this is for anybody who had bought in by a particular date. So if you got in by that date, then you were in a kind of a secondary drawing just for the helmet. There were 32 spots in the overall break. Only 20 of those qualified for the helmet drawing. So a little bit better odds.
Yeah.
And the gentleman who won the helmet was actually here last night watching in person with his son.
Nice.
And it ended up being a pretty cool. It was a Curtis Martin, his alternate helmet that was signed, came with all the paperwork and all.
Jay, who did Curtis Martin play for?
Man.
You got this.
I have no idea.
Think green.
Green? I mean, Marshall University is the only thing that comes to my mind.
NFL.
Green.
This is
New
what
York
I
Jets. Yes, that's the only green team out there, right?
There's the Packers.
Oh, the Packers, yeah.
Yeah, there's the Seahawks is a different version of green. The Dolphins is a different version of green, yeah. But you did good. You got the Jets.
I did.
Great running back for the New York Jets, Curtis Martin was, that's for sure. But yeah, it just looked like another great break. And yeah, that's one of the things, Aaron, you were talking about, you got the whatnots, and you've got all these online places that do these breaks. But they're not, you do one thing too, like if somebody gets in the break and they don't end up getting a hit, you always do extra things for people, and I think that's why going to your breaks at your store locally here in our area, it's way different and better in my opinion than doing the stuff online.
Yeah, I try to make sure nobody leaves empty-handed. There are a lot of breaks that do that. That's sort of that's accepted. In some of these big things, not everybody's going to get something. Me personally, if I were buying into it, I would steer kind of away from those, because it just sort of stings a little. So I like getting a little something, and I try to organize it from the perspective of if I were the target customer, what would make me want to spend my money on this.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure everybody knows they're getting something. Nobody's going home empty-handed. I don't want anybody to feel like this is some kind of, rigged carnival game where, they threw the ball 3 times and couldn't knock the duck over. And sorry.
I know the duck was glued to the thing. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. No. So, even if we got to dig in, just out of our pockets and throw in a couple extra things, I want people to have a good feeling about participating.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, taking care of your customers and your loyal people, and that's what makes you successful. And I saw something that you guys are doing, and the buybacks have been going on with for a while, and typically it's your baseball side of things. But Topps doing a buyback on UFC cards. Tell everybody about that a little bit.
They are, it's been going on since last year with baseball, as you said. The way it works in baseball, Topps Chrome each year, if you have the base card or variation of that card of the either MVP, National League, American League, you can bring it into the shop. It's $20 in store credit. If it's a special card, a refractor numbered card, it's worth even more, up to $200 for some of them. Just instant store credit. We send it off to Topps, and they reimburse us. They have expanded it now to UFC. So last weekend we had UFC 300, I believe. The winner of the headline event, it's going to work the same way as if they were a league MVP in baseball for buybacks. So we've got Topps UFC Chrome boxes here. Come in, you bust a box open, and you pull the winner's card, the base card. That's $20 to $200 in store credit right there, depending on the type of card.
And buyback stuff is pretty cool.
It's fun, because you can open it up. Like we've done breaks before with the baseball where somebody will buy in and get one of the teams that could have the buy, like last year, say Acuna with the Braves.
Yeah.
And pull a Acuna refractor. Maybe they only paid $15 or something to get into the breaks. And it's like, well, there's a $40 buyback right there, good for anything in the shop.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the UFC thing. And one, I really didn't know that there was UFC cards, and shame on me for that. But then two, the buyback program. Right. That's just that's some awesome stuff there that you guys are doing.
There's cards for pretty much anything you can think of that's competitive, and even things that aren't entertainment and all. Obviously, we have the cards. I think we've talked before about like the aviation cards and space exploration and things like that. So, a lot of these companies, if they can't get a license with a major sports league, they'll try, something else they can do, something to find a little market out there.
Aaron, if I was going to ask you a question. If I wanted to kind of elevate my card collecting game, what are some accessories that you guys offer over there at your spot?
Yeah, we have a full line of collecting supplies. So we have all of the soft sleeves, what they call a penny sleeve. We have the top loaders. You want to put the card in a penny sleeve first because it's a real soft one, but it'll stop anything getting spilled on it, things like that. And then put it inside a top loader, which is a little more rigid plastic. That way you don't have to worry so much if you drop it or something like that. Then we have the boxes that they go in, everything from a single row box up to what they call the 5,000 count box. It holds 5,000 cards if they're not in any sleeves. If you put them in top loaders and all, you get a couple of hundred in there. We have some nice briefcase style cases that will hold your top-loaded cards, your graded cards. They can be locked. Pretty much everything. We got the binders. A lot of the kids, they love the binders. They can look through and see the cards. Yeah. We've got them just general collecting binders. We've got them for all the big sports. I think we've even got some still in stock that actually look like a baseball with the stitching or football with the laces. We have some specialty ones like that.
It's kind of like in golf. It's like whenever I get that person that comes to golf for the first time, I mean, there's accessories everywhere for golf. And it sounds like
absolutely.
Yeah. Tees,
and,
balls.
Similar to golf or, fishing or, some hobbies like that with cards, the temptation is there. You want more cards. But it may bite into that budget a little bit, but, it's worth it to spend the money on some nice supplies to preserve your collection and take care of it. You certainly don't want to pull some really nice card and then it gets damaged because you didn't store it properly. And, down the road, it loses most of its value that way.
Yeah, that's a great question, Jay. I mean, it's a big piece of card collecting and memorabilia collecting is protecting those quote unquote assets, because I mean, you look at some of the more valuable things. I mean, Aaron talks about all the time Mickey Mantle stuff and that era stuff. That stuff is so valuable, but it also has to be preserved as well for that value to maintain. Obviously, you still have value as things go down, but like a signature ball, if you're not preserving that ball and that signature fades, then you got nothing.
Yeah, you got a baseball. Hey, cards are like fingers, man. You got to take care of them.
Jay, take better care of your fingers.
I know, right?
Get damaged.
Are stamps still a thing of collecting or no?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
I think I've never done anything with stamps.
No.
I'm sure there are. I always use stamps as a good example, though. We have people that, they'll come in and say, hey, I bought a bunch of cards, on the internet or at a yard sale or something, and, I want to sell them. And they come in and it's like, well, unfortunately, you really don't have anything of value here. And they're like, well, I spent a bunch of money. I thought I'd make something. And I would say, well, unfortunately, that's what happens very often when you buy a collectible that you don't have any background knowledge on. And I always say, I don't know stamps. I know there are stamps that are worth a lot of money. I would not just go buy stamps without doing some research into that, because I know I would lose a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's
the same with stocks or, anything else like that.
You got to do research, that's for sure, especially in this day and age with how available everything is online. And you always mention it all the time. Somebody has a card and they put it on eBay for $5,000. Just because it's on eBay for $5,000 doesn't mean it's worth $5,000. So always do research. Come talk to you guys. There's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself from I don't want to say scams, but from, spending a lot of money on something that's not really worth a lot of money. And that's really life in general on a lot of things. And then, Aaron, next week you've got coming up again, it is RIP Night. It's going to be Saturday, April 27th. Obviously, we'll talk about it next week as well. But tell everybody, that one coming up, that's a family favorite out there at Instant Replay.
Yeah, Hobby RIP Night is a big one. A lot of fun. It's an event. It usually lasts, we do it from 5 to 8. But you can come out and enjoy any part of it you want to. We do pack wars, which is fun. Everybody buys a cheap pack. We call out something we're looking for, like tallest player, lowest card number, anything like that. We open the pack up. Whoever's got it, they win a prize. We're going to do some trivia. We'll do some box breaks that you can buy into, or possibly even win a free spot in by playing the pack wars. A lot of cool stuff you can do. A lot of fun hanging out with other collectors, and it's very, very affordable. If you want to come out and spend basically what you'd spend going to the movies for an evening, and then get you 3 hours of entertainment out of it for $20 or so, RIP Night's a great way to do that.
Absolutely. Amongst all the other stuff you've got coming up, I was going to try to line up like we talked about on Monday, because we were debunking myths or saying that they were either true or not for Augusta National, and on the memorabilia card collecting side of things, I wasn't really able to get like the black and white stuff, but I'll ask you a couple real quick while we have a few minutes left in this segment. Are older signatures always worth more and more valuable than newer signatures?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because of a couple of reasons. One is that players who played, 30, 40 years ago and retired, they potentially had 30 or 40 years to sign things. So could be a ton of stuff out there for those guys. The other thing is newer guys tend to charge more money for their signatures. So people that have to pay that, if they go see them at a card show or something, they're trying to recoup their money out of it. So a lot of times it's a better deal, I would say, better value. If you see some of those older guys out there, if you remember that guy when you were a kid or something, you can probably get him to sign for a lot less than the current stars.
Yeah, and in turn, with the less there is, the more valuable it's worth. So, yeah, like you were saying, those older ones, they may have signed a million things, and back in the day, some of them weren't even charging to do signatures before they realized it was a way to make some extra bucks.
And Bob Feller, the Cleveland Indians, man, the guy would sign anything that wasn't nailed down.
Well, and that's the other thing. How important is it to sign something and it actually be like legit where you can see who signed it? There's so many athletes out there that just scribble their, whatever.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Jay, because if you do have a piece of memorabilia or anything that is signed by someone, you can go to our favorite card shop down there at Instant Replay on what day, Aaron?
Saturday, May 11th from noon to 5.
Look at you, Jay, teeing it up for us.
What in the world?
JSA coming into town. They'll certify your autograph right then and there. And that's just a great opportunity, and we appreciate you bringing it back to Bay County.
To answer your question about, the value being in sort of a legible signature, it's really not. It's more about who signed it. And a lot of it, I think it's generational. Guys coming up now, players from the last 20 years or so, all of you guys think back to school, man. Handwriting has become less and less important.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, people are typing with their thumbs and all that. So guys that played way back, they had these great, calligraphy-style signatures. Yeah. They would sit in the dugout and practice their signature because they wanted to give a really clean-looking autograph. Guys now, like you say, they'll scribble a line, a check mark, something that looks like a reading off a seismograph. If there was an earthquake.
Some are just initials.
Yeah. Sometimes you get like one initial and a jersey number or something. It's very minimal with some of these guys, but it is still more about who signed it rather than if their signature is legible. Now, for me, if I were collecting, I do kind of want the ones where you can see what it is. And I don't necessarily have to be able to read it, but I do want to know there's a little bit of effort into it. And there are some people, sports and entertainment-wise, great sort of artistic signatures. Maybe you can't read every letter, but you know what the signature is. It's almost their personal little, graffiti tag or something. But they put some effort into it, and I can respect that. But some of these guys, man, I've been collecting them on my phone, some of these bad minimal signatures.
Aaron, do you remember the first signature you ever received from someone?
Good question.
I do. It was not in person, but the first autograph I ever got was Warren Spahn, the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
There you go.
And because of that, when I was growing up, Spahn was my favorite pitcher. He retired 15 years before I was even born. But because I had a card signed by him and a baseball signed by him, and I would pick up cards of his and just love learning about the guy and seeing clips of him and all of that. So, yeah, that's to me what I understand about what autographs, can matter to people.
Yeah.
Seeing these kids of our customers going to games and hearing them talk about, they met Michael Harris and they met Ozzie Albies, and that's the whole starting them on a trajectory for life.
Yep, it doesn't have to be just about what that value is. What's it mean to you personally, and that's what you always say about collecting. It doesn't necessarily have to be about trying to build up this huge collection of value, but it means something to you as well, and that's what makes the hobby so cool. Aaron, real quick, what do you got coming up tonight and tomorrow?
Tonight, it's Friday, yeah. Okay, Friday Night Kids Club at Instant Replay, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Bring those kids in. Get them in early. They do box breaks. They trade. They have fun opening packs, hang out with other kids. We keep it down to $10 or less for these kids to get in on a break, get some really cool cards. Then tomorrow, breaks here in the shop at noon. Going to break a lot of cool hobby product. Got some brand new stuff that we'll be breaking for the first time. And, next Saturday, Rip Night, May 11th, JSA.
There you go. We'll talk to you again one more time on Friday to go over all the details for that. We appreciate you coming on this week twice. A lot of fun there, and have a great weekend. Everybody go check out Instant Replay Sports Cards down there in the Stanford Station Shopping Plaza right next to Academy Sports and Outdoor and Sweet Frog Creamery. Aaron, have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to finish our NHL bracket pick'em and then get into our normal weekly pick'em. Y'all stay tuned.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer, number 9.
Saturday, April 27th at Bay Haven Charter Academy. In the main event, it's a tag team showdown with Exodus versus Mike Steele and Mr. 850. Plus exciting women's wrestling. Tickets still just $12. Ages 6 to 17, only $8. 5 and under, free.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach offers full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, plus cash and carry cabinets available the very next day. Kitchen Designs has been family-owned and operated for over 20 years. Visit their showroom at 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Or call Kitchen Designs, 850-775-4150.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He gives out raw scallops and Time magazines for Halloween. Jay is part of the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Fighting Warren Jeffs. No, Jimmy Buffett there. Yes. Jimmy Buffett there, bringing us into the last segment here on the Inside Drive. Maybe that can be the Utah hockey team. Who knows?
The raw scallops on that cheeseburger.
There you go. Hey, I'm okay. If you want to give me scallops on Halloween, I'll take them.
Yes, sir.
I'll cook them. I'll eat them. I just hope you kept them cool.
Right.
That's all.
I didn't listen to the whatever.
Oh, yeah. Raw scallops and Time magazines. That's what you give out. Hey,
I guess
you're just trying to feed and give people some education. That's all.
That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Yeah.
Eating and learning.
That's it.
Two combinations of wonderful things.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the NASCAR race this weekend?
Where are we? Oh, we at Talladega.
Talladega, baby.
I was hopeful that you wouldn't screw that one up because we sent some people up there and can't wait to hopefully hear from them next week with their experience. But if you are up in Talladega right now, you are deep into a beautiful week for racing. It does look like we're going to get some weather down here Sunday night, but I don't know about up there. I haven't looked at the forecast and the schedule, but we'll get that pick in when we get to our regular pick 'em. But let's jump back in as we are slowly running out of time with about 11 minutes left here today on this beautiful week down in the Florida Panhandle. We finished the top half of the bracket that first round. Now we'll go down to the bottom half. We'll start with the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators. I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to me on this one. I think the Canucks are going to win this one, but I would love to see the Preds go deep in the playoffs because I think that's just a wonderful atmosphere. I don't know if if you've ever watched a hockey game in the playoffs in Nashville, that place is rocking and rolling. The Music City there, that's for sure. Back to you, Nashville or the Canucks or the Predators?
I'm going to go with Morgan Wallen's favorite town, and that's Nashville Predators.
Just don't throw too much stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. You're going with the Preds, huh?
Yeah.
This is an easy one. This is a layup for David.
From the roof, Morgan Wallen with a chair.
Yeah. He just wanted to be a wrestler. That's all.
That's right.
I'm going with Nashville.
Ooh, 3 Nashville.
Yeah,
the Canucks getting bounced in the first round.
It made it easier with both of y'all picking. Too. Like, hey, let's
I want to pick
direction.
Nashville, but
they're a dark horse team that could make some noise here in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. If I had to have a second team that I'd love, I still want to get to a game up there in Bridgestone Arena. I think that would be absolutely awesome. There's not too much close, but that's one of them, that's for sure. All right, moving over there to the Eastern Conference again. This one's to David. We got the Rangers and the Capitals. Capitals got in there as that last seed in the Eastern Conference. David Hayes, who you got?
Man, I really just want to go throw $1 on the Washington Capitals at plus 15,000. But I think that the Rangers are going to be just a little bit too strong with Shesterkin there. Washington did what they had to do to get in the playoffs, but I like the Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. A little younger, a little more firepower. Obviously cool to see Washington. I still think Ovi's going to break that goal record, which would be pretty spectacular. One of those records that you never thought might have got broken. The points record for Gretzky certainly I don't think ever will, but I'm going to go with the Rangers in that one as well. I don't want to be reckless with this first series, and I'm going to take the Rangers in that one.
I will not concur with the two of you, and I will go with the District of Columbia.
There you go.
Washington.
What's
Capitals.
The Capitals.
Yeah.
Do you know what color their jerseys were when they started?
I feel like red, white, and blue.
They are now.
Are they?
Yeah. When they started, it was weird. They were like blue, like bronze, and it was an interesting, and white. It was an interesting color jersey.
It was.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I feel like the jerseys, NHL teams like 15, 20 years ago were a lot more different back then, like the Coyotes.
It does seem like the NHL jerseys right now are a lot closer to cookie cutter.
Yeah,
like
more conservative and
like if you were to have the Maple Leafs and the Bolts already look very similar, anyways. But it's tough sometimes watching them. And
well, and you got traditions too, which I get, but still, yeah. I mean, they should. I feel like the jerseys when a lot of these teams were first created were a lot cooler than they are now, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
All right, staying in the Eastern Conference, and I believe it is to me, we got the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. Carolina's been playing wonderful all season, but I'm gonna take some upsets in this one. I'm gonna go with the New York Islanders in this one. My good friend growing up on the same streets, the lead ice technician there for the Isles, so I'm gonna pull for them in that one. Who do you got there, Jay Henley?
I will go Carolina.
Heads, Carolina. Tails.
Yeah, I was looking for something looking for the bumper song Hurricane, but I'm going with Carolina.
Jay, just play it for us. Oh, wait, you got boo-boo fingers.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so you got Carolina. All right, the last one in the first round, and then we'll go quick here in the conference, the divisional finals, conference finals, and Stanley Cup champion. You got the Edmonton Oilers versus the Los Angeles Kings. Two teams that who played for, Jay?
Don't know.
Wayne Gretzky.
Bingo.
Oh.
He also played for the New York Rangers.
Ah.
But the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers.
I should have said Michael Jordan.
Jay would be like, yeah, he did.
He did.
All right, so it's back to you, Jay. You got the Oilers or the Kings in this one?
Let's go City of Angels, Los Angeles Kings.
All right, there you go. David Hayes?
Yeah, I hate it for the Oilers, man. Another great regular season, but I've got the Kings moving on to the second round.
I'm going to take the Oilers in this one. I think they're going to buck the trend here, and they're going to move on to face the Nashville Predators in that second round. So let's get back. We got 4 games, then 2, then 1. We got the Vegas Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. It is to you. Or no, excuse me. We should probably wait on this one because we don't have all the same picks. So I don't know what I was doing there. I got a little ahead of myself. We'll just leave it on this first round. Don't lose your paper, Jay. I know that's a big task for you, but
you can leave it on that glass desk if you want to.
He can put it in his file that he uses here all the time.
There you go. He'll absolutely remember
Hopefully
it.
Sailor does not eat this because she ate like 20 pages of notebook paper last night.
Blank notebook paper.
Dogs eat homework. That's the legit thing.
But did you actually have something written on the paper?
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, don't fib on the show, Jay.
No, I'm serious. I had stuff written.
Sailor.
Yeah.
She'll do it.
That's crazy.
It happens.
Does it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Ollie legitimately ate one of either Liam or Ryan's homework assignments one time.
That's right. That's happened recently, I feel like.
Yeah, within the last year. But that dog will eat anything that has to do with paper.
Right.
He's an idiot. All right. Let's move on to our regular pick'em. And a lot of these have to do with the games we just picked, but it's just the individual games we're picking here in this one. So game 1 for all of the series there in the NHL, and then we'll start with the 2 play-in games tonight. You got the Bulls and the Heat and the Kings and the Pelicans. Winner of those will move on. The loser is out, and the play-in games will officially be over with the NBA playoffs getting kicked off this Sunday. All right, Jay, you get to go first. We got the Bulls. Both of these games are within a 1.5 spread, but you got the Bulls and the Heat. The Heat are not going to be with, I don't think Jimmy Butler's playing.
No, sir.
Jimmy Butler's not playing, and Zion's not playing, so there's a lot of injuries going on there. Last year, it was the exact same final play-in game, and the Heat won that one against the Bulls. But who do you like in this one, the Bulls or the Heat?
Now, Bulls, now that y'all said Butler's out.
We just talked to you in that one.
Yeah, I mean, Hero, he's going to have to step up. I don't think that he's got that in him. I want to see another big night from Kobe White. So I'm going to go with Chicago.
There you go. The Bulls. I'm going to go with the Heat in this one. I don't think they're going to get it done, but I still got to make up some ground, so why not? All right, next you got the Kings at the Pelicans. Like David just said, Zion hurt his hamstring and will not be playing in this game. He had 40 in that last game. When he was in, it made a huge difference, and when he was not, it was tough. David, you got the starting pick on this one. Kings at the Pelicans.
I'm just gonna go with the Sacramento Kings. I don't have a great reason other than Zion's out, but Brandon Ingram is lethal as well. So, but I'm gonna go with the Kings. They're a fun story.
There you go. I'm gonna go with the Pelicans at home. Jay Henley, who do you got?
Are the Pelicans in New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go Sacramento Kings.
What if I said they were somewhere else? Would you pick differently?
Maybe.
There you go. There you go. All right, the NASCAR steady pick, as always, you've got Chase Elliott, David has Denny Hamlin, and I've got Joey Logano. We'll go with, I'm going to let David start the pick on this one, and then we'll do the NHL games for the Talladega up there, your restrictor plate race on the super speedway. How long is it there?
2.5 miles.
2.5 miles.
Yes, sir.
All right, who do you got, David?
Man, who do I want to go with? You know what? We'll go with Michael Jordan here. I'll take Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. All right, Jay, who do you got there at Talladega besides your steady pick?
Man, I mean, who's going to stay out of the big one? That's the big question.
Denny's winning it, so you don't got to worry about anything else.
Yeah, right.
You can technically pick Denny for this particular pick if you
want to.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, I've already got Chase, so I can't go Chase.
You can.
It's a completely separate pick.
Oh, it is.
It's a double down.
What? Yeah, Chase won last week. Let's continue on and let's go Chase and Chase.
Continuing the winning ways. Yep. All right, so you got Chase Elliott. I'm going to completely hedge myself here. NASCAR has not been too friendly to me, so I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. That way, if he does win the race, I've hedged, and I'm 1-1 there.
I really hope Tyler Reddick wins and Denny Hamlin finishes too.
Like, he wrecks out. He doesn't finish the race. All right, we got to go quick. We'll go top of the order, Jay Henley. We'll go Islanders at Hurricanes, Game 1 in all these playoff series.
Islanders.
All right. So you pick the Canes to win the series, but you're picking the Owls to win the first game. I like it.
Yeah.
Same way. I'm going
to go the opposite. I'm going to say the Islanders win the series, but the Canes win the first game.
There you go.
All right. Maple Leafs at the Bruins. David?
Boston wins Game 1.
I totally agree with that.
I'll go Maple Leafs. Yeah. I got a T-shirt.
Been there, done that. Got a T-shirt.
Have you worn it once?
I have.
You have?
Yeah. I wore it to bed.
That's how a guy shrunk. I'm wearing it.
Great. Really glad we learned that.
Dreaming of hockey.
All right. Yeah, you think you would have absorbed through osmosis some hockey knowledge or something like that. All right, now to me, Lightning at Panthers. I'm going to say the Lightning get Game 1 here and make that happen against the Panthers. Jay, who do you got? Lightning or Panthers?
Let's go Panthers because I think Dave is going to go Lightning.
Oh, man, I really think that the Panthers win Game 1, but you know what? Since you said I'm going to do that, we'll stick with it. Let's go Bolts.
There you go. Go Bolts. Caps, Rangers. It's to me. I'm going to take the Rangers in that one. MSG, just a very difficult place to play. It is going to be. That's a game. If you watch one game this weekend, watch that game because it's going to be nuts at Madison Square Garden. One of the toughest places to play in the NHL.
Did you say Caps?
Caps.
Capitals?
Yes.
Caps. I'll go Caps.
All right. Caps. It takes me less time to type that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll go Rangers.
Rangers. All right.
Please type in New York Rangers.
Yeah, the New York Hockey Rangers.
There you go.
All right. Who's next? Jay, Avalanche at Jets. Winnipeg Jets, that is. Not the New York Jets.
Go Winnipeg.
All right.
Winnipeg.
Jets. I'll go Avs. I picked them. I'll take them. Colorado Avalanche. Last but not least, Predators at the Canucks. It's David's pick.
Let's go Vancouver to start it out.
All right, Vancouver to start it out, but the Preds to win. I'm going to say the Preds steal one up there in the beautiful city of Vancouver. Last pick of the week, Jay Henley. Who you going with?
I'm going to stick with Nashville.
All right, the Preds as well. There you go. Well, just like that, it's 12:57. It's been a fun show. We appreciate the call. It's been a great week. Jay, have a good weekend. And maybe doing some lessons out there on the old lesson tee, but hopefully you get a little time to relax as well. I know you've had a busy week. David Hayes, have a great show this afternoon, 4 p.m. the afternoon. Underdogs coming up. Always listen to ESPN Northwest Florida, whether it's on your radio, your app, or your computer. We have it all covered for you. Y'all get out there. Enjoy this beautiful weekend. We'll see you next Monday.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.